Okay, after my 20th row, I'm gonna do this portion now, the cover. So for that, after 20th of row, for my row number 21, as I have tied up my work here on this stitch, I am again gonna insert my hook into the next stitch. We'll grab the yarn and we'll make another slip stitch here. Now remember what we have done. We have already done one slip stitch to tie up our work, our round. Then again into the next stitch I have inserted my hook and have done my slip stitch. And into the third as well, I'm gonna insert my hook and we'll make a slip stitch there. So after joining up your row, you have to do 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches. Now I've already counted my 14 stitches. We are going to do 14 stitches here and we are going to continue doing our pattern. So into the same stitch, the second stitch where we have just done our slip stitch, I will yarn over and we'll do a half double crochet there, and then again yarn over and we'll do another half double crochet, and my 2 stitches are done. Now leave the next stitch and do your half double crochet into your next stitch. So it's 1 and 2 half double crochets. Now again leave the next stitch and into the next stitch 2 half double crochets. Leave the next stitch and then 2 half double crochets. Leave the next stitch and then into the next stitch 2 half double crochets. Together we need 14 stitches here. Again leave the next stitch and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. This is our 12 half double crochets, and again leave the next stitch and into this stitch, the last stitch, I'm going to do my last 2 half double crochets. That will be my 14 half double crochets. That's it. Row number 21 is done. Now chain 1, turn your work and do 14 single crochets. Insert your hook into the first stitch and do a single crochet. Now this is row number 22, and we're going to do 14 single crochets here. Now if you're finding it difficult that how many single crochets you have to do, I'm going to do single crochets until here. You can always put a stitch marker there so that you will understand which stitch you have been working on. So at the end of row 22, I have done my 14 single crochets. Now chain 1 again, turn your work, yarn over and insert your hook into your second stitch. Now this is our chain 1 and this is our first stitch. Insert your hook into your second stitch. This is chain 1, this is first stitch, this is second stitch, and do 2 half double crochets here. Now again leave the next stitch and do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and you're going to have another 14 half double crochets like this. Do 2 half double crochets into the stitch and then next stitch skip that stitch. We're going to skip this stitch and then 2 half double crochets, leave this one and then 2 half double crochets, leave this one and then 2 half double crochets, and you're going to have your 14 half double crochets here, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this round. So I've done my round 23. Now again chain 1 for round 24 and do a 14 single crochets here. Now leave this one and insert your hook into your first stitch and do your single crochet and make another 14 single crochets, 1 single crochets on each stitch, and that will be your round 24. And now you're gonna repeat round 22 and 23 for another next 8 rounds. So in total you're gonna have 10 rows. Okay, so I have repeated my row 22 and 23 for another 8 rows, and I've made in total 11 rows because the first row would be 21st row, and we're not going to repeat that. And then 22nd and 23 we are going to repeat for another 8 times, and that's how we have ended up doing our 11 rows here for this cover. Now here, after 11 rows, we're going to cut the yarn and we'll secure the end. Now, take your yarn and insert your hook into you can take any side. I'm going to take this side and insert your hook into this one like this. Insert your hook here. Grab your yarn. This is not chain one, this is just I'm tying up my work. Now I'm going to do a chain one here. And we'll do another 10 single crochets on this borders. Now we're going to do, because we have chained up one here, we're going to do another 10 single crochets here, then the 14 single crochets here, and then on this side we're going to do another 11 single crochets. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 single crochet. Now I'm going to turn my work and will insert my hook into this first stitch, and we'll make another 14 single crochets on the stitches. 1, 2, 3. This is my 14th stitch, and here I'm going to do another 11 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I have done my 11 single crochets. Now turn your work, insert your hook into your first single crochet, insert your hook into that, grab your yarn and make a slip stitch here, and then chain one. Into the next stitch, grab your yarn, make a slip stitch, and then chain one. Again, into this next stitch, insert your hook, grab your yarn and make a slip stitch and chain one. Next single crochet as well, slip stitch and chain one, and continue doing this slip stitch and chain one all the way till here, then on this side and on the third side as well till the end. We're going to do this pattern, this design on all 3 borders of the cover. So slip stitch and chain one, slip stitch and chain one, slip stitch and chain one, and you're going to form this design. And here I have done my last slip stitch. I'm not going to do chain one into the last stitch, and we'll cut my yarn and we'll secure this stitch, and we'll insert my loose ends into the work. For this flower, take your yarn, make a magic circle, chain up 2 here. Now this 2 chain will count as your first half double crochet. Another that time, yarn over, grab your yarn and make another half double crochet, yarn over and make another half double crochet, yarn over and make another half double crochet, and you're going to need 6 half double crochets in total. So it's 1 2 3 4 and 5, and I'm going to have my another last half double crochet. So in total we have done 6 half double crochet including chain 2. Tie up your work and insert your hook into your second chain and make a circle. Now grab your another yarn, your white yarn, attach your white yarn here. Now chain 3 here, so it's 1 2 and 3. Just gonna pull my this color. So chain 3. Now we're gonna need another 4 double crochets into the same stitch. So I'm gonna insert my hook into the same stitch and we'll do 4 double crochets. So into the same stitch, 1 2 3 4, and we'll leave my 4th stitch here like this, and we'll insert my hook into the 3rd chain from the first 3 chain. I'm going to insert my hook into the 3rd chain and we'll grab the yarn and we'll secure my stitch like this. Now we're going to have your stitch at the back like this. Now chain up 2 here, 1 2. Now into this second stitch we're going to do 5 double crochets. So insert your hook into your second stitch, grab your yarn and do 1 2 3 4 and 5 double crochets. Leave the stitch here, insert your hook into your first stitch, first double crochet, grab your yarn and pull it through your first double crochet, and you're going to have your second leaf. Chain 2, again do 5 double crochets and do the same. Chain 2, then another time 5 double crochets, chain 2, then another time 5 double crochets, chain 2, and another time 5 double crochets and chain 2, and we're gonna tie up our work here. So for one more time, let's do 1 2 3 4 5. Leave your stitch there, insert your hook into your first double crochet, grab your yarn and pull it through your first stitch, and that's it, it is done. So you're gonna have 6 paddles here. Another time chain 2 and do the same thing for this rest of 3 stitches. I've done my 6 paddles here and chain 2, and I'm going to insert my hook into my first stitch here. You can see your first stitch here. Insert your hook at the back of your flower into that stitch, grab your yarn and make a slip stitch here, and that's it. One round is done. So round 1 would be your 6 half double crochets, and then round 2 will be your cluster of 5 double crochets and then chain 2s. Now here, as we have tied up our work at the back of this paddle, we're going to chain up 3 here, 1 2 3, and we're going to do another 4 double crochets into the same stitch. So 1 2 3, 4. We're going to leave this. We're going to enter our hook into the third chain. We'll grab the yarn and we'll pull it through our first chain 3 space. And that's it. Again, chain 2. Now insert our hook into the chain 2 space here, not at the back of your second paddle, but in between these two paddles where you have chained 2. Insert your hook into that one and make 5 double crochets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave this. Insert your hook into your first double crochet and grab your yarn to your first stitch. Again, chain 2. And here, after doing that, we are going to insert our hook into the back paddle, the back stitch of our second paddle here. So yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch from the back of the paddle. Make 5 double crochets here. Now again, leave this one, insert your hook into your first double crochet, grab your yarn and pull it through, and do the same. And you're going to have 12 paddles here. So one would come up in between this chain 2 and another one would come up at the back here. So your next paddle will be here on chain 2, then your next paddle would be at the back of your third paddle, then again on this chain 2, then again on the fourth paddle, then again on this chain 2 space, and then on the fifth paddle, then again on the chain 2, and then again on the sixth paddle, and the last one would be on chain 2. And we're going to tie up our work. So I'm going to do the same. So do your clusters of 5 double crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. I've done my last 12th paddle and I've chained up here, chained up 2, and I'm going to make my slip stitch here on the back of my first paddle. And my beautiful flower is ready. I'm going to cut the yarn. And we'll secure my last stitch. And that's it. Your flower is ready. Now, this one, let me turn up the work. That's it. It's gonna be like this. Now we are gonna place our flower here, and we're gonna need this snappers as well, the snap fasteners like this. So we are gonna also put this one here like this. We're gonna put this one here like this, and we're gonna attach this fasteners as well. And for this one, just insert your hook somewhere and grab this loose ends. So I've got 2 ends here for the flower. I'm gonna attach them. and I'm gonna weave my ends in like this, and we'll attach the fasteners here so that I can close up this. And also I'm gonna use this hooks for my belts, but if you don't have the hooks, I'll tell you what to do next. Now for the belt, I'm gonna take this hook and we'll take the yarn and we'll make 5 single crochets here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Chain 2, turn your work and do half double crochets into the each stitch. So that's gonna be 5 half double crochets. Chain up 2, do another 4 half double crochets. So in total it will be 5 half double crochets. And continue doing this until you reach your desired length. If you're not having this hook, simply chain up 6 and then do your 5 half double crochets. Then again, as we have done here, do your half double crochets and go for the rounds, as many rounds you want and the length you want, and then just tie up your work with your project, with your cover. Just tie up here. You can turn up your cover in and tie up your work here. I will simply hook up this one here like this, and that will be done. So I'm gonna do my half double crochets and I'm gonna do my 30 rows for this one, and I will meet you after doing my 30 rows. So I've done my 30 rows. I will chain 1, will turn my work, and we'll have my another hook here, and we'll make single crochets and I'm gonna tie my hook here. So do 5 single crochets here. And that's it, my hook is tied up. I'm gonna cut my yarn and will weave my ends in. And that's it, my final product is done, and I've tied up my bands as well. Here my AirPod cover is done, this one as well. And I hope you have liked my today's tutorial. If you have liked my today's tutorial video, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you into the next video. Bye.